Yo, what is going on guys, it's Ant and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, if you couldn't already tell from the title, we're going to be doing a water monotype hardcore Nuzlocke on the game that is rated 7.8, too much water, Alpha Sapphire. Because this game is rated 7.8 because of too much water, it's going to be very interesting to see what it's like doing this sort of challenge on here. Now before we go dive into the rules of a challenge, I just want to say real quick that we're trying to hit 3,500 subscribers as quickly as possible. So if you're new to the channel and you find yourself enjoying the content, you know what to do. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. You'll be helping out the channel massively. Real quickly, you'll see a little timer on your screen. Skip to there if you already know the rules. And if not, don't worry, I'll explain. So, we can only catch and use water type Pokemon throughout the run, and we can only catch one per area of the game too. With this rule in place, re-rolling for a water type spawn / non-duplicate water type is allowed, and with what was just said, that means no duplicate Pokemon or evolution of one can be caught throughout the challenge. We cannot exceed the level of a current gym leader's strongest leveled Pokemon too, and if a Pokemon faints, then it's classed as dead and can no longer be used in the challenge. So to start things off, I go pick my Mudkip to say Professor Birch because it's a water type challenge, so I can't really take any of the others, so I've got to take this Mudkip. And here it's just two water guns, take down a Poochyena. We say Professor Birch, and because of that he lets us keep the Mudkip. And now with this Mudkip, we're going to go give it the nice nickname Kippers. With that done, now we head up to Route 103 and we go get into the fight with May. So right now it's my Mudkip versus her Trico, and for this fight it's just a tackle spam basically, so we're going to finish off the Trico and win the fight. In the same route, we also find ourselves our first ally of a run, a Wingull, so we're going to go capture this one real quick, give it a tackle to reduce its life a little bit, and we're also going to give it the nickname of Pelly. After this, on Route 102, we also find ourselves another water type, which is Lotad, so we're going to capture this one real quick. It took quite a while to actually capture this one, but we managed to do it. And when it did get finally caught, I thought what better nickname for a lily pad than Lily. After a bit of training, our Lotad would evolve into Lombre just before the gym, so this would be perfect for us to use in a fight. But sadly though, I wasn't able to get Bullet Seed before the fight, which is something that I really like to use in Emerald. Either way though, with that done, we go head into Roxanne. So for Roxanne here, we're going to go for a water gun, knock Geodude down onto Sturdy, and I did not think she was going to use a potion here. I thought she was just going to use something like a super potion, so I went for tackle so I could knock it out of Sturdy, and then went for a water gun on the next turn, took down the Geodude. And now, so for nose pass, I'm going to go for water gun, and then I realised that I'm probably going to have to switch. So I start going here for some mud slaps as well, just to lower its speed, so when I do switch over into my Lombre, we're guaranteed to be faster. I'm sure it was faster anyway, but at the moment of time, that's just what I was thinking. So I go for an absorb here, knock the nose pass down into one shot, and then another absorb after this, takes down the nose pass, and that's Roxanne defeated. From here then, I head down to Dewford, I pick up the old rod, and I start doing some fishing, so we go get a tentacle, capture this up, and we go give it the nickname of Sting, before heading back to Petalburg and fishing in certain areas that we hadn't already been. So in Petalburg, we go find ourselves a Goldeen, which we capture, and we give the nickname Sackdean because I didn't want it. And then out here on Route 104, I also find myself a Magikarp. So for the Magikarp here, I knock it down into one shot, capture it and give it the nickname Magi, and then also go and evolve my Mudkip. Mudkip evolving here at level 16 will be perfect because it means we get a Marshtomp for Brawley, the second gym fight which we're about to get into in a moment. So here we are, we're getting into Brawley, and for Brawley here, he's going to start off with his Machop. I'm also going to start off with my Tentacle, and I'm going to start laying down a few Toxic Sparks. So when he does switch, his next Pokemon's going to get hurt by poison. We put the Machop down into one shot with a Water Pulse and then take him down in the second turn. And then Makuhita comes out, so we go for a Water Pulse, put the Makuhita down into one shot, another Water Pulse on a turn after, take that down, that's Brawley defeated. With our level cap now increased, we also go evolve our Magi into a Gyarados. Gyarados can be very, very, very good in this run, so I definitely wanted to have one of those. And with the Gyarados evolved, we then go ahead into our second rival fight with May. Now this fight's not so bad compared to Pokemon Emerald, thankfully. I start off with my Tentacool here, go for the 2 Toxic Spikes before Water pulsing the Slugma down into very low life. It gets confused and takes itself down from the confusion. After this, Grovyle comes in and I decide to stay in here, going for an Acid and lowering its life a little more before then going for another Acid on the next turn. And then Poison would put it down onto very low life, and then another Acid on the turn after this would take down the Grovyle. When she goes and sends out her Wailmer, and I decided that I need to make the switch, so I go switch here over into my Lombre, and this is where we just start spamming things like Absorb, take away health from the Wailmer, while we also let Poison do its thing. And with that done, that was May defeated. And defeating May meant we can now get to our next main fight of the run, which is against the third gym leader, Watson. So for Watson, he's going to start off with Magnemite. We've got a Marshtomp here, there's no way we're going to lose. You know, I go for a Mud Shot, put the Magnemite down onto its Sturdy, then go for another Mud Shot after this, and then it misses, but then I go for another Mud Shot, put it down onto its Sturdy, and I decided I'm going to go for a Tackle just to take it down, because I didn't want to risk another miss. Magneton come in on the turn after, he went for a Magnet Bomb, didn't do much, we went for a Mud Shot, it missed again, which is crazy, but this time Magneton doesn't have Sturdy, so when we go for this Mud Shot, it takes it down, and then lastly now comes out Voltorb. So for Voltorb, we're going to go for a Mud Shot. It actually isn't going to take it down, which I thought it was going to one-shot, but it's okay. Water Gun, next turn, take it down, Watson defeated. That level cap raises once again now that Watson's defeated, and we can go evolve our Wingull. So for Team Aqua Admin Shelly here, we get into the fight. They start off with their Grimer, I send in Radar via Zoomeril. Aqua Tail, put it down into one-shot, it disables that, so I go for a Bubble Beam next turn, take down the Grimer. And then Carvana comes out, so for Carvana here, I try going for a Play Rough. And we get hit by Swagger, and now Swagger just keeps making us hurt ourselves by confusion every turn. It's not going very well, all the way until 3 times in a row. So now we're no longer confused. We get put down here, I go for a Play Rough, and it's quite lucky we wasn't hurt by confusion one of the time. But that was Team Aqua Admin Shelly down, and now it's time for Archie. So Archie starts off with the Mightyena. Again, I start off with Radar via Zoomeril, and I just go for a Play Rough straight away on the Mightyena. Because no Intimidate, we don't lose any attack. And then Golbat comes out, so for Golbat we do get hit with Confuse Ray, but Aqua Tail hits, puts it down into one shot, and then Aqua Tail misses on this turn. We do snap out of Confusion though, so on the next turn again after this, I can go for another Aqua Tail, take down a Golbat, and then Archie sends out Sharpedo. So for Sharpedo, he goes for a Screech, I go for a Play Rough, take it down, Archie defeated. And now, because we've finished everything up at the top of Mount Chimney, we can now move in on Flannery, the 4th gym leader. So we go ahead into Flannery, and just like the last video where we had a zoom rule, we go for the rollout strategy. So for rollout here, we're going to put the Slugma down low life, Flame Body's going to burn us, so now we're at -5 attack, but still every time with a rollout, we're going to increase our damage. So we take down a Slugma, Numble comes out, this is the 4th rollout, one-shot it, and then Torkoal comes out, and Torkoal on the 5th rollout also gets one-shotted from rollout, and that's Flannery defeated. Because we've beaten Flannery, our level cap now increases to 30 for Norma, which means we can evolve Pokemon like our Tentacool into Tentacruel now. And with things like evolving Sting done, we go head over into Norman, the 5th gym leader. So for Norman, he starts off with his Slacking. I start off with Gyarados here to get the Intimidate attack drop, before then switching over into my Pelipper. Pelipper does take a bit of damage, but then we go for a Toxic on its Truant turn. And then after this, we start going for the Protect strategy. So we're going to Protect on every attack that it can hurt us. Instead of going for Chip this time, though, I do actually switch over on the Truant to a safe switch into Slacking, get the Intimidate drop, switch back over into Pelipper, take a tiny bit of damage from Retaliate, and now start going for the Protect strategy. But Slacking's at -2. When his life was quite low, I go for a Breen, puts him down into very low life, and we let him faint this turn from the Toxic. Norman then sends in Vigoroth, and again I go switch over into Gyarados, give it an Intimidate attack drop, and then start trying to take it down myself now, just like the last one. It's got a little over 80 HP, so 2 Dragon Rages won't be enough, but a 3rd Dragon Rage can take that down. And then lastly, it's another Slacking. So for this Slacking here, I'm going to make a few switches. So I start off by switching into my Azumarill, and I decided I was going to go for a hit now we had the +2 from the Swagger. We put it down into quite low life, and I switch back over into Gyarados after this, give it an Intimidate attack drop, and it's possibly in Dragon Rage range from here, but before I was going to go for that, I was just going to make a few little switches. So we switch over into Pelipper, go for a Protect, put him into Truant, go for Toxic, miss, go for it again with a Protect, he's now in Truant, We chip him down a tiny bit instead of going for Toxic this time. And now he's on quite low life, just enough so where we can finish him off with Breen. So we use Breen, take it down, and that's Norma defeated. With Norma defeated, we now move on to May. So for the May battle here, she's going to start off with a Slugma, and we're going to straight away go in with our Lombre. Now with Lombre here, we're just going to go for a Surf, one-shot the Slugma, and the next thing comes Grovyle. So for Grovyle here, we're going to go for another Surf. We're in range, so we've got quite a bit of damage boost there, so I do quite a bit of damage there before feeling like I'm forced to switch. Switch over into my Tentacruel, go for an Acid Spray. It puts the Grovyle onto very low life, and I can finish it off the next turn with another one. Take down the Grovyle. Wailmer comes in, so for Wailmer again we're going to go for an Acid Spray because it lowers a special defense every turn. Another Acid Spray from here will put it onto very low life, and we can finish it off the next turn with one more Acid Spray. And that pretty much there was May defeated. So after doing that, we can now move in on Winona. And Winona in the gym battle starts off with a Swellow. So for Swellow here, we're just going to start off with an Aqua Tail. We're going to one-shot the Swellow. And then after this, Pelipper comes in. So for Pelipper here, it's going to go for a Protect. We're going to try a few Dragon Rages. It's got a little over 80 HP, so it is going to go down to like 3 of them, but they're going to use Hyper Potions as well. So we're going for another 2 Dragon Rages after they restore. Put it down into very low life. One more Dragon Rage from there takes down the Pelipper. Skarmory then comes in, and for Skarmory again, we go for an Aqua Tail. We do miss this time, and now we're forced to switch. So we go and make the switch here over into our own Pelipper, and we go for a Breen. Breen will put it down into almost half life, and then another Breen from here will take it down. After this, Altaria comes in, we hit with a Toxic, and then we're forced to switch. So we go make the switch over into our Tentacruel, and here we go for a Poison Jab, put it down into half life. We're now actually in a position where we're forced to switch again, so we go switch here over into our Marshtomp, take the Earthquake, let the Altaria go almost down from Poison, go for a Protect. It actually uses Roost there as well, but it's slowly going to die, so we try to go for another Protect there, it doesn't work. But as you can see, it is slowly going down, so another Protect here. We go for it, Cotton Guards, throws the fight, goes down to Toxic, and that was Winona defeated. Up in the next route after this, where we could finally find a new water type, we find ourselves a Surskit. We go for a Dragon Rage to put it quite low life, and finish off the capture with a Pokeball from there. Capture the Surskit, and we give this a nickname of Skit. Our level cap also increased since beating the 6th gym leader Winona, which meant we can now evolve Pokemon like Marshtomp into Swampert. So I evolve Marshtomp into Swampert, and go head off to the top of Mount Pyre to try and stop Archie. At the top of Mount Pyre, we get into a fight with Team Aqua admin Matt. He's only got a Sharpedo, so he's not very hard to defeat. So we go for an Acid Spray. We do about 33% of its life, and because it's had the -2 special defense drop, another Acid Spray from here is very likely to kill. So we go for that other Acid Spray, take down the Sharpedo. That's him defeated, and then we go have to fight him again in the Team Aqua hideout. So he starts off with the Sharpedo again. I start off with Gyarados, go for a Dragon Rage, and it's only going to take a few of them to take him down. He's now in one shot. He does crit us there, but it doesn't matter because we could take him down, and again that's Aqua admin Matt defeated. So from here, outside Mossdeep City in Shoal Cave, we go find ourselves a Safil, hit with a Dragon Rage twice, and then we go capture it with a Pokeball. When this is caught, I give it the nickname Claptrap. I like Borderlands quite a bit, but after I evolved it into Celio here, this size thing didn't really seem to make sense to me anymore. I liked that Safil was quite small. I felt the name was quite fitting at that point. A little bit anyway, not too much, but now at this size, it just didn't seem like it was going to fit anymore. And if I think it didn't fit before, as a Celio, it was definitely not going to fit anymore. We evolved it twice, so it went from Celio now into a Wolverine, and if I didn't think it fit before, now it definitely didn't fit. We had to change its nickname before heading into Liza and Tate. For Liza and Tate, I start off here with my Azumarill and Swampert. I Mega Evolve Swampert and go for a Protect, while Azumarill goes for a Surf. And I notice here that Solrock's now charging up a Solar Beam, who's most likely going to go for Swampert here. So we do this Surf damage. I'll go for an Aqua Tail to try to take down Solrock, and I have to switch here into Gyarados. Solar Beam was actually going for Swampert, so it does hit Gyarados. It doesn't do too much damage though, thankfully. And now Aqua Tail takes down the Solrock, which means there's just Lunatone left. I aim both my Aqua Tails at the Lunatone. Gyarados' Aqua Tail hits a Lunatone, takes it down, and we beat the gym. After beating the gym, in my Sleep City, I go pick myself up a Super Rod, which means I can get even more encounters now that I didn't before. And outside the place where I did have my fight with May, I go back and I go find myself a Sharpedo encounter. With a Sharpedo here, I hit it twice with Dragon Rage, put it down into a catchable life before being forced to switch. I switch there over into my Tentacruel, and I use an Ultra Ball, capture the Sharpedo, and just like the last time when we had a Sharpedo in the run, we go and give this the nickname Baby Shark. Up on Route 115, we do some fishing there and we find ourselves a Whalmer. So again, Dragon Rage, followed by another Dragon Rage, and then followed by another Dragon Rage after that. We'll put him down at quite low life, and then followed by another Dragon Rage there, we'll put him into very low life. So now from here we're going to go for our Pokeball, capture the Whalmer, and we're going to go give this a nickname Moby. In Meteor Falls we also fish up a Barboach after, we chip its life down, and then go and capture this as well, giving Barboach a nickname of Elder. I don't know, it seems old. Anyway, after this we go head into the battle with Team Aqua Archie, and I start off by Mega Evolving and going for Dive on the Mightyena. Dive here one-shots Mightyena, and then Muck comes out on the turn after, and sadly I forgot to teach myself Earthquake even though I literally picked it up right outside this fight. But it's okay, I go for a dive here, put it down into one shot, Surf after, take down the Muck, and then Crobat comes out, so we go for a dive once again, underwater, hit the Crobat, take it down, and now Archie sends out his Sharpedo. So for Sharpedo here, I actually make the switch over into Radar, and this was actually a really bad choice because for some reason, I don't know why, I did not anticipate Poison Fang, and it almost killed us as well, but luckily we survived, went for a play rough and took it down. While underwater from here, I find myself a Lantern and I go capture this, and I go give it the nickname of Lamp before heading into Sootopolis City and getting my Kyogre encounter. So for Kyogre here, we're not actually going to use this in the run, we're just going to capture it. Go throw the Master Ball at it, capture the Kyogre, it gets a nickname of King, and then we move on to Wallace, the 8th gym leader. So for Wallace here, we're going to start off with our Tentacruel, and we're going to start laying down some toxic spikes on the opponent's team. After laying down the 2 sets of toxic spikes which will badly poison any Pokemon that switches in, we switch over to our Pelipper. Pelipper here, I'm also going to lay down a little toxic on the Love Disc. I want it down without it confused chipping a lot of my Pokemon. With that done, now I switch back over into Sting now we lost Confusion, and I'm going to go for some Acid Sprays. Acid Spray is going to put the Love Disc down into one shot, and then we're going to go for another Acid Spray on the next turn, take down the Love Disc, and every Pokemon that comes in now is also going to get badly poisoned. It probably doesn't even help too much, and there was another mistake that I made that luckily wasn't punished, so we got hit by an Earthquake there. And I don't know why I did not anticipate it. But on the next turn after this, I switch to Gyarados, who's part Flying type, dodge another Earthquake, and then take it down with Aqua Tail. My Lotic then comes in. So for my Lotic here, I go for a Dragon Rage to try and take down a bit of life. It doesn't do too much, and it starts trying to go for Recover as I go switch over into my Clap. So for Clap here, it's sort of like just a battle of the ice. It's not going to go too greatly. It's just sort of both a not very effective kind of battle. But eventually we put my Lotic down into quite low life, and before it can recover, Toxic also takes it down. And then Celio comes in, and luckily for this fight, I didn't actually set it up for this fight, but I set it up to smash some rocks before fighting Archie. I have Rock Smash, so it's super effective against Celio and helps me try to take it down. And 2 turns after they healed, Celio goes down to its Toxic, and then lastly there's just a Seeking left to fight. So Seeking is going to try to take me down with a Waterfall, and then it's going to go for a Rain Dance, and on this turn I'm going to use Rest and completely heal myself. And now from here I just start trying to chip it down with a bit of Snore damage, whilst also letting Toxic do its thing. They go for an Aqua Ring, but it's not really going to do much because Seeking's on very low life and is going to go down to its Toxic. And then the Toxic is going to take it down this turn. So Seeking goes down from the Toxic, and it means Wallace is defeated. With Wallace defeated, we collect the Rain Badge and we head up to Victory Road. At the very end of Victory Road now, we go get into a fight with Wally. Also, the level cap is now boosted up to level 55, which will be a middle level between the highest level Pokemon in the Elite Four and the lowest level Pokemon in the Elite Four. So we're currently at a level cap of 55, and we're fighting against Wally. Tentacruel here is just spamming Acid Spray to try and take it down before it gets into low life. I go for a Sludge Wave and finish it off. and then Magneton comes in, which is clearly going to go for an electric attack, so we switch here into Swampert, and for some reason it uses Tri-Attack, which I have no reason why, but thankfully this time we actually have Earthquake, so I Mega Evolve, use Earthquake, knock Magneton down onto Sturdy, and then take it down with a Surf on the next turn. Rosalia then comes in, and it's clearly going to go for a Grass type move, so switch here over into Sting, and I start setting up Toxic Spikes because he got rid of my last ones. And with them set up, I now go make the switch over into Gyarados, whilst the Rosalia is stuck in Petal Dance. So whilst the Rosalia is set up in Petal Dance, now I'm starting to set up myself by going for some Dragon Dances. So I use Dragon Dance once and I go put myself to +1 attack, +1 speed. And then go for a Strength and take down the Rosalia. Delcatty comes in after this, and with a Waterfall from here we're also going to one-shot the Delcatty. And then Gallade comes along. And with Gallade here, it's going to Mega Evolve. I'm going to go for a Waterfall. It actually doesn't kill, and the poison damage after doesn't kill too. But it threw because it went for Sword Dance. And then on the next turn, I take down the Gallade, finish off Wally. And now it's time for the Elite Four. But before we go to the Elite Four, we're going to go to Lily Cove, and we're going to get rid of all the useless HM moves our team knows. And with all the useless HM moves gone and a bit more training, we go head into the Elite Four. First off in the Elite Four is Elite Four Sydney, the Dark type trainer. So he starts off there with his Mightyena, and I start off with my Tentacruel before laying 2 sets of Toxic Spikes. We also dodge a Swagger there, which was nice. But with that done, I go switch over there into my Gyarados, give it an Intimidate attack drop, then also make the switch here over into Radar. Now I am trying to get Swaggered here, and we do actually get to land on the correct turn. So with that done now, even though we are confused, we're now at +2, while Mightyena is actually at -1. So we can pretty much just go for the team here. We go for a Play Rough on a turn when we're not hurt by confusion, take down the Mightyena, and then the next Pokemon that comes in is Shiftry. So for Shiftry again, it's going to hit us with a Fake Out, but then on the next turn when it hits us, it's not going to do too much damage. We're going to go for a Play Rough, take down the Shiftry. Another Pokemon that could go for a Grass move, but this time we're actually faster as well. I go for the Play Rough, take down the Cacturn. And the next Pokemon that comes out is Sharpedo. Now, unlike the Archie fight, I'm not going to make the same mistake again. So, I go and make the switch here into Sting. And from here, we've seen how we can beat these earlier. We just go for our Sludge Wave, take down the Sharpedo, and then after this, an Absol comes out. So from here, Sludge Wave, one shot, take down the Absol, and that's Sydney defeated. With Sydney defeated, we move on to the second room, which is Elite Four Pokemon Trainer Phoebe. So we go head into there. They start off with Dusclops. I start off with Gyarados. And with Gyarados here, we're just going to go for a few Dragon Rages straight away. But because we are hit by Curse, it is going to make our turns of sweeping go down quite quickly. So from here at +2, I go for a Crunch, take down the Dusclops. And yeah, we can't stay in no more. So from here, I am forced to switch. And I go and make the switch over into Sting. Now Sting here gets hit by a Thunder Punch, which I actually wasn't expecting him to have. Don't know why I didn't expect that, because I always check what moves the Pokemon has. But anyway, with that done, I know it's going to go for it again. So I go switch over into Kippers, who's a ground type, so we don't get hurt by that. And go for an Earthquake on the Dusknoir. It puts it down all the way into one shot, and then we go for a Waterfall on the turn after, which will take down the Dusknoir. Sableye then comes in, hits us with a Fake Out. Then we go for Earthquake. Earthquake will one-shot the Sableye. And then Bayonet comes, which Earthquake will also one-shot the Bayonet. And then another Bayonet comes, which again, Earthquake will also one-shot. So we take that down, and that's Elite Four Phoebe defeated. Meaning we can now move on to the third room, which is Elite Four Glacier, the Ice-type trainer. So for Elite Four Glacier, the Ice-type trainer, again, I set up 2 sets of Toxic Spikes. And start going for a few Acid Sprays to try and drop the special defense of the Glalie. So 2 Acid Sprays from here will put the Glalie down into what seems like one shot, but before I go risk anything, I go switch over into Magi. Magi here is hit by the Crunch, and then I start going for some Dragon Dances. Perfect chance to sweep. It's just a shame that I couldn't get Substitute before the fight. I might have been able to, but I wasn't actually sure too much how. Anyway, with 2 Dragon Dances set up, we then go for Waterfall, and we go take down the Glalie. Frostlass then comes in, and I go for a Crunch and take that down. And then another Frostlass comes in, so we do the same thing. Another Crunch, take that down. And now Walrein comes. Now Walrein, we're at +2, so we're not really worried about this. We go for a Strength, put it down into one shot. It does hit us with a hard Blizzard, but on the next turn again, we can go for another Strength, take down the Walrein. And then now, out comes another Glacier. So for Glacier, we know we're going to kill it. We go for a waterfall, take down the Glacier, and that's Glacier defeated, meaning we can now move on to Elite Four Drake, the 4th member of the Elite Four. While going into Drake, he starts off with the Altaria. I head in with Tentacruel and start setting up the Toxic Spikes again, which actually probably wasn't the best idea because a lot of his Pokemon are flying types or above ground Pokemon, so Toxic Spikes isn't going to affect him the same way Stealth Rock would. Anyway, we start spamming here with our Acid Sprays, putting the Altaria down into Half-Life and -4 special defense, and then hit it with a Sludge Wave which will take it down. Flygon then comes in on a turn after this, and I switch here over into Magi. Magi here is going to start setting up some Dragon Dances on the Flygon, and then I decide it's time to start trying to take Pokemon down, so I go for a Waterfall, take down the Flygon, and then Salamence comes along and gives us an Intimidate attack drop, and I knew I couldn't stay in, so I go switch here over into my Wolverine, take the damage from the Thunderfang, and also get paralysed. On the turn after this, Salamence goes for a Dragon Rush, but thankfully we're not immobilised. We go for the Aurora Beam, take down the Salamence, and then another Flygon comes in, so from here I go switch over into my Swampert, Mega Evolve, go for a Waterfall, take that down, and then lastly they send out a Kingdra, which is the only Pokemon that was actually hurt by the Toxic Spikes in this fight. Now I go for a Protect before then going for an Earthquake on the next turn and finishing it off with a critical hit. That was Drake defeated, and now it's time we can move on to Steven, the champion, the final fight of the run. So we go ahead into Steven. They start off with Skarmory, and I'm going to start off with Gyarados here for an Intimidate attack drop before switching over into Sting. So I'm going to use Surf from here with Tentacruel. I'm going to put the Skarmory down into one shot, and then I'm going to finish him off the next turn with another Surf. When that happens, Aggron is then the Pokemon that is sent out next. So Aggron here is going to go for an Earthquake. I switch here over into Magi, dodge the Earthquake, and that's going to go for a Rock type move. So I go switch here over into Kippers. It's also got an Intimidate attack drop now as well because of Gyarados. I go for an Earthquake there, which puts it down into 1 life because of Sturdy. Now what I like about doing this is Steven wastes one of his 2 full restores here. Although we could have just safely 2-shotted it with Waterfall and took the same amount of life, we've took 3 turns here to take down the Aggron, and because of the way we've done this, we also have only lost the same amount of HP we would have, and we've also wasted one of Steven's full restores. Cradilly then comes in, and we know it's going to go for a Grass type move. I go for a Protect, and then I go switch over here into Tentacruel on the turn after. Take this, and then we go for an Acid Spray. We're trying to lower its high special defense. Another Acid Spray on the next turn after being confused, but it was all good because we can now go and make the switch here over into Clap, and Clap here with a double super effective Ice type attack, and the -4 special defense will be enough to take down the Cradilly. So we take down the Cradilly, and then Claydol comes along. So for Claydol here, we go for a Surf, and then now I go for a Rest. Put myself back up to full life before then making another switch. So we switch here over into Radar, take an Earth Power, and we go for a Waterfall. Earth Power will put us down into 1 shot, but our Waterfall will take down the Claydol. And now next then Armaldo comes out. So for Armaldo here, I'm going to switch over into Gyarados. We're going to take a Crush Claw, and then I'm also going to make the switch over into Swampert. With that done here, I'm going to go for an Earthquake on the Armaldo, put him down into 1 shot. And then I'm going to finish him off on the next turn with another Earthquake. And the way we've done this basically is, so now when Metagross comes out, we're going to go for Protect it first. And we're trying to make him waste Giga Impacts here. Even though he didn't go for it that turn, he does go for it this turn after the Intimidate drop. So he doesn't do too much damage on us. We're trying to make him waste Giga Impacts. So he goes for his Zen Headbutt there, and we go switch over into Clap. Because he's got an Intimidate attack drop, Giga Impact won't do too much damage, and we take Clap out the battle. We switch back over into Gyarados, give him another Intimidate attack drop on the turn that he must recharge. And now we're going to start trying to set up. So we Dragon Dance to +1, and then I go for a Crunch, and they decide they're going to go for a Bullet Punch, which means they've completely thrown. So on the next turn here, I go for another Crunch, take down a Metagross. That was Steven defeat, which means we've completed the game and we've completed the challenge. So that's going to be it for the end of the video. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. If you have, be sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Peace out, guys.